Hello, welcome. And I'm trying something a little different today. So if you watched any of my other readings, this is going to be slightly different. And so I'm going to do this as a love reading. And so we're going to have you pick one of these heart rocks. So just kind of look at those, feel the energies of those out, and you're going to choose one of those. And then I decided to shuffle on camera, which I never do, but today I'm going to use my old deck of cards and my new deck. So if you're not familiar with my readings, I have these two decks of cards I used to do for readings that are printed from my artwork. So anyway, so pick one of these hearts if you're looking for a little information on your love life. And so we are going to start with number 1. I'm just going to push these up so I keep them in order. So number 1, kind of put it down here. And so we are going to start with number 1. I'm just going to push these up so I keep them in order. So number 1, kind of put it down here. So I want to try to just tune into the energy of those of you that have chosen this little heart. And what you may be looking for information in a relationship. And apologize. My cat is here with me, so hopefully she won't be too disturbing. All right, love energy, love energy. Okay, so for those who chose this as a reading, as your love reading, this is the presenting energy to your love life. And this is, I feel like it's kind of a tough energy because it feels like you're in a sort of a dual space. You're in a dual space here. You're in a dual space. And I mean that in a way that you want to do this, but you're fearful because this is good, but yet you're wanting to kind of. It feels like you want to end a relationship, and if it's not ending a relationship, it's about cutting away something from the past that's actually interfering with the energy of your current relationship or the relationship you desire to have. So this is an energy of just cutting something away. And so it can have many meanings depending on your situation. But the keys here to me represent that you feel like there's some sense of security. So it's like your heart, it's hard to let go. It's hard to just cut this thing away because you do have some sense of security in the relationship. It just may not be what you're looking for. And so the underlying things and patterns and old fears and things for you, this light might be a little bright. Or maybe that's better. I don't know. So this isn't an energy of having to, again, this is having to get moved from something. Like what you see in here is all familiar. This is the old, this is you new, but it's time to move on. It's time to just jump on the back of this dolphin and go. Just the horizon is endless. You can go wherever you want to go. You can be whatever you want to be. But it's getting out of this old space that feels so very limiting and oppressive. Like there's not much growing in here. And then the energy that holds you back is this. This doesn't look so pleasant. So it looks like there's a part of you that's ready to embrace and open and move, but there's some energy that has gotten a hold of you. It's almost very much like it's about speaking. This definitely feels like an oppressed throat chakra energy. And just the dominance of letting some energy keep you down. You know, there's this part of you that really wants the escape. It's open to whatever possibilities there could be. But I'm feeling like because you're in this situation that feels like you most likely feel oppressed and need to move on, the thing that this isn't the what moves you forward, but this energy feels like you've got a secret love. Or maybe you're having an affair. How else does that feel? I don't know. It feels like you may have something you're wishing for, or maybe you are having an affair or there's another relationship you want. It feels like there's something there feels like some deep entanglement. She needs out. So this person needs you out. There's something that needs to be cut away. Whether it brings you security or not, it needs to go. Because this is very oppressed here. And you're being asked to go here. But this is a fear. You fear being here. And maybe because you think you're alone if you're here, but you're not. You're not alone here. That's like the death right there. That's not the place to be. So you need to come from there. Whatever this thing is that's oppressing you, that makes you feel like there's some security, so you sacrifice the oppression for the security. But you know, there's more. There's more. I gotta draw another card on this. I think these readings are gonna be longer than I thought. I feel like I just need the last little addition, a lot from the Zen Tarot. Okay. Trust, yeah. And I'd say you do really have to find some trust. You do have to find some trust. And where you're going to find it here is this person who's ready to just step up, open that door and go through it, or embrace what's coming towards her. Not this oppressed person or this oppression place. This person, on the other hand, is where you want to go. And it's going to bring you either the love that you're longing for, that you kind of think is a secret, or you're having an affair, or somebody you're interested in, or whatever the complications are. It's like where you are isn't the best place. You need to cut away, security or not. You've got to trust. You really do have to trust. Maybe the trust card did come up. All right, last word. But when they fall out. Transformation. This is transformation right here. Complete transformation. Well, I wish you luck in that, and I thank you for listening. I'll give you a moment in case you want to take a screenshot of the cards or just zoom in. Pause for a moment. I think it's helpful to look at the images because I think they may bring up things that maybe didn't come up in the reading that you might see on your own. All right, so now for those of you that chose the reading 2, which is this heart rock, here's your first card already. You are in a lost and lonely place in the moment. What's holding you back? What's keeping you there? What are the fears and the old patterns in your love life with this? Okay, now we're looking for what holds you back in your relationship, or what keeps you from being in a relationship that you desire. And what moves you forward. Lovely. All right. So the presenting energy of what your relationship status is like is this. And this just feels like you're kind of wandering lost and alone. Like you feel just very, very alone. I mean, look at that energy there. And it is like a deep sadness and almost like a deep depressive type of energy. But on the other hand, there's this gorgeous monarch here that's probably newly winged, and that's the energy that's awaiting you. It's here, it's right next to you. So I'm not sure this energy right now until I kind of flow through with the other cards, but this is almost feeling like maybe you've had a recent loss. But that energy is feeling like it might be more like maybe the death of a parent or something, somebody significant like that, a grandparent or something like that. So this, and it's interesting, this is almost feeling like not a love relationship reading as much as it is a relationship reading as in some other type of relationship that might not be a partner, love interest, sexual. Let's just put it that way. It's not a sexual relationship. It doesn't feel like this is about a sexual relationship. That said, let's move on. This feels like loss, sadness, and then the underlying fear and old pattern space shows this energy. And so just thinking in relationship-wise and love-wise, I'm going to read some of them in that way, but again, this doesn't feel like it's a sexual type of relationship. But, yes, my kitty is saying, yes, she's agreeing. I don't know if you could hear her or not. Oh, fucka ducka. Well, now we're having a little interruption in the reading here because as I was going, I realized I didn't plug my microphone in, or I had it plugged in, but I didn't turn it on. So anyway, I had to stop the video to see if it was recording. So now back into the flow of this energy being underlying fear and old patterns. So this feels like you instead of being with the sadness, you want to run from it. You don't want to face it. You want to run from it. You think time, and maybe time does heal things, but they don't usually heal things if we're running from it. So just pay attention to whatever this sadness is, whatever this loss is that maybe you've experienced, and where are you avoiding it? Where are you thinking you can just run from it? I mean, I don't know how, that's the biggest thing. You're thinking time is going to change it, and so you can just run from whatever it is. But the thing that holds you back is this. It's the thing about not expecting the emotional wave to come in. You think you can avoid it. You think you can just run from it. But it's not. That wave is going to come in, and it is going to consume you if you're not aware that you're here because you're running from something. You're not facing something. And however that works in your life, whether this is a loss of a loved one that's not a sexual interest, or whether it is a sexual interest, it's just play the energies with it. This emotional tidal wave is going to come if you don't pay attention to what you're avoiding. And, this is the thing that holds you back. And so could be a couple of ways. Either you just hold those emotions in and then they come out and they freak people out because they come out as rage, or they don't come out at all. And so pay attention. But they're going to come somehow. And if they don't come out as rage, this kind of energy, when you hold it, manifests physically in your body, in your being. And then the energy that's going to move you forward is this. And this is friendship. This is camaraderie. This is people who love you and care about you and are there for you. So whatever this is that you're kind of not facing and running from, you have people. They're here. And you have to rely on them. You have to ask for help if you need help. You may not show this to people. You may do this and people don't really see that you're really in that sad state. But these people love you and they'll be there, and you need to trust that. You need to trust that. Otherwise, this emotional wave will take you over and will take you down. Will take you down. So an additional card here. What is this? Yeah, beyond illusion. So you really have, you just have to start facing whatever this is. You cannot ignore this anymore. It's really critical for you to just see this, and see this. Because whatever you're holding on, these people can help you release it. You don't have to go this route at all. That is actually just not helpful. It's just really what keeps you. It's like this cycle that you do. You stay here, just sad and avoid whatever it is. Nobody loves me, boo-hoo, curl up in the blanket and just hunker out in the cold and the dark. And you know the stuff that we play in our minds over and over and over. And then just run from it. You just avoid it. And then you come into the emotional breakdown. And then that brings you back into this dark space again, which then brings you to want to avoid it, which brings you into the emotional breakdown. And you go round and round and round. You really do have to get beyond this illusion that this is helpful in any way. This is where you have to go, and you have to learn to trust. You have to trust whoever's there. There are people there for you. Probably 3. I believe when things come up in the numbers that is true. You probably have 3 very amazing people that love you deeply and would be there for you for any reason. You just are afraid to ask. Or you have that belief if they were really loved you, then they would know. That's just bullshit, and don't ever do that. That's not fair to people in any way. I trust my inner knowing. Do you? Do you trust your inner knowing? Maybe it's time. If you want to leave that spot, Get beyond the illusions that you've been holding and circling here. Trust your inner knowing. Know who these people are. I'm going to put that over here because that's your helping card. Trust that you know who they are. Keep moving around. Well, thank you for joining me for this reading. I hope this was helpful. I wish you the best in finding whatever this energy is and working through that. And I would love if you would share in the comments. That really does help my channel get seen. So thanks again. See you next time. All right. Now for those that chose this heart. Let's shuffle these first. All right. I love reading. I love reading here. And we need the presenting energy to the situation, to the love reading, to the person, to this relationship. Energy for those who chose this reading. It's so funny. My instant reaction is I wanted to put this card back in the deck because I record multiple readings a day, and these two cards just came out. Maybe not in the same reading, but I just did. So part of me goes, no, I don't want these cards, but they're here for you for a reason because the energies work well together. So it feels like for whatever in your relationship or whatever you're seeking guidance on here is that, oh, yeah, I gotta get this, and I want to come in. Oh, Mamma Mia. Okay. So this energy, that's the presenting energy of your relationship, love interest, or however you're feeling about it, single and looking. This is an energy that's tied to having a certain outlook or outcome and not leaving yourself open to other possibilities. It's like you have your eye on one prize and one prize only, even though you're so tied up here and twisted up that you can't even get to that. So where is that energy in your life? How is that in your relationship? Do you feel immobilized in it? Do you feel like you can't participate in certain ways? Is this person in your relationship always dangling something in front of you? Oh, it'll be better tomorrow. Oh, I'll get a job today. Oh, I'll go whatever. You know, there's those, whatever those energies are, what are they always promising and not coming out with or coming through with, whatever. And then in the area of underlying fears and old patterns is this energy. And this tells me that you're ready to be out of whatever this energy is. You've been caged up for too long here, and this has not been working for you. Whatever this energy is that's between you and this person it's ready to be released. It's almost like there wasn't much choice. It's like everything had to spring open and out. My hands are going in the opposite directions. Sorry. So you're ready for a change. You're ready for a change. But what's holding you back is something in your family, and this is about it to me, about ancestors, and it always to me relates about something in the family. So what's interfering, what's holding you back in your relationships or relationship, when we have problems in our relationships, it's never just one. The same pattern, I believe, exists in every one of them. We can just work through little bits of it with each person in each relationship, but it's usually the same core underlying issue. And so that tells me that specifically here that you are something from your past, and most likely someone in your family, that this isn't really about you. It's just an energy that you're carrying on from maybe father, grandfather, or a past relative. And that's hindering your way of being in relationships. And the thing that's going to move you forward is going to be taking that suit of armor off and really just throwing it away. Like literally being done with it. And I know sometimes that can feel it can feel liberating and beautiful and wonderful, and nobody ever wants to put it on again. But it can also, once you take it off, have that feeling of vulnerability and not feeling safe. So maybe you take it off for a little while, see how these energies all feel, and then put it back on if you have to. But you got to come out of it on occasion so that you can see something else. Because these are harsh energies. These aren't energies that are loving and supportive and productive or in any way in a relationship. So find where those are. It doesn't mean it's everything about the person. It might just mean there's one little thing you need to have more time to yourself, but you're so afraid to ask for it, and you just get fried because you don't ask for just a few hours to yourself or a whole day to yourself, or God forbid even go away overnight somewhere by yourself. This can just be that. It can be that there's just this one thing. And so just recognize what that is, because if it is just the one thing like that you're afraid to ask for or clarify, and what I mean, people are afraid to ask for a long time, but even more than that, just sexually, people are afraid to just talk about their likes and dislikes, the things that they go, ooh, that weirds me out, or there's all kinds of things like that, and people are so afraid to talk about them. So this doesn't mean your relationship is doomed in any way. It just means there's something there that isn't working, and find what that is. It doesn't mean it's the whole thing. It just means something's in the way of you two getting together, and you do just want to go. And that may be okay, and it may be what you need to do. I can't say one way or another. You'll know those energies. But there's some old pattern, this old thing here from your family that's keeping you armored. So you can't move on with being armored. And whatever this thing is that you want, that you think you can't have, try to find what that is. And people know, people go, oh no, I don't know what it is. But I'd say come back if you get this reading, come back 2 or 3 weeks later and watch it again. And I'll bet you know what that is. You might not when you watch it now for the first time, but I bet a couple of weeks you'll know. Your body will present it to you. It'll just become more clear. The Lovers. How funny you get the Lover card when this is so like opposite energy that. But the Lovers card, you do have to beware is that it's not just finding this great love. This is it's also how you have to be careful about not completely losing yourself in the other person, in making everything about the love. This is typically a card of projection. Like you're projecting this onto the other person. So just be aware of that energy too. And maybe this is what you're seeking. Maybe that's what this is. You're seeking this perfect love. And I can tell you, it doesn't, we all want it. And often it's right there in front of us if we chose to see it and be honest. Perfect love requires honesty. I'm full of wonder. Let's put that with that one. But this is important. I think this is the most important card for you, is to find out what this is that you're wishing for. And if you're in a relationship and you can ask for it and talk about it, I just encourage you to do that. Well, thank you for those who chose this reading. And just give a quick pause if you want to pause the video, look at any of the cards closer, take a snapshot, screenshot, so you can look at the cards and see if you see something that means something to you. Anyway, thank you. I wish you the best with this, and hope you join me again. And love if you made a comment, like, share. That helps get the algorithm going for me. I'm shuffling the cards, but I keep pulling these aside. And those of you that chose reading 4 and this gorgeous little heart. Yes, there's one right off the top. Woo. They are flying out for you. Okay, what do your love relationships have to say today? Some repeats. All right, for those that chose this for your love reading, the energy that is presenting to the situation is this card. I'm sorry, I have to have a drink. My throat is dry. So you're presenting energy to love and relationships. Is this energy? Sorry, I gotta sit with these for a second. It feels like you probably get absolutely consumed in a relationship. Literally like walking right into the fire and completely losing every bit into the relationship. And then there can be what's the energy? I know the energy, sometimes it's the words. So this isn't exactly just about you being in the all-consuming space in the relationship, but that if the other person also doesn't do that you can have a problem with that. Or maybe you don't do this and you want the other person. Maybe this is what you're seeking, is that for somebody to just be willing to just jump through fire for you, jump through the hoops, come in, be all consuming, you know. And then the past, the underlying fear and old patterns is this energy. And this feels like there's some things that are just closing in on you, and that there's a lot of avoidance in this reading. And, you know, and this just feels like they're all going to come down. Like whatever's you've been avoiding, it's like you're barely holding it up. And it's work. It is work. And there's something up there eating away at it. It's, you know, you can't hold whatever all this is on your own. It's going to overwhelm you. It's going to crush you if it falls down. So whatever you are holding here, it feels kind of it feels a little secretive. It's funny because this card feels now like it's secrets to me. Usually it's ancestors, but in this reading it feels like this is secrets. And it could be family secrets, because this usually represents ancestors and families, but it just feels like secrets, and that they're all going to come down on you, or you're going to burn up in them, maybe. This is a weird energy for a relationship reading, I have to say. What'll move you forward, and the energy what'll move you forward is this. And maybe this is like just getting out, like just turn your back and go. It's so weird. This card never feels like that to me. This card never feels like that to me, but it feels like that here. So that's just what I love about the cards that I make. They're never the same. I'm going to shuffle this card while I'm looking at these. So I feel like I'm missing something. There's just such an intense energy with these two cards. So I'm hoping this next card will help add to them. Let's just do that because I'm feeling like I'm waiting for something to pop out at me. There's something kind of missing. Let's hope this card brings it up. So what's missing? Show me what's missing here. Tie these together for me. Yeah. If this is a relationship that you're in, if you are in a relationship and you are inquiring about that relationship, there's nothing here that says love, support, and that this is a long-term, could carry on thing. This feels like it is something you needed to experience, and it is really time for you to move on. You could feel a little maybe chained in. It's probably wounding your really young you. I think you probably have some really old wounds keeping you in this situation that just feels like you're going to be crushed or burned alive. And there's just nothing about this feels good. So I'm sorry to say that. Well, how funny, your final word card is pleasure. But in this, the only way you're going to find this is here. Move on. Move on. Move through that gate. Move on. Find what you're seeking there. Wow. Gosh, I wish you the best in that for those of you who got this reading. That sounds really intense. Really intense. I'd love if you got this reading and you'd love to share in the comments. That would be great. I love to know how these feel for people. Plus comments and likes and subscribing just helps YouTube put my videos out there for people to see. And I'm just a little channel trying to grow. So any little bit helps. So I hope this was good for you. And I hope you come back for some more. You may not want to after that reading. Sorry, because that was pretty intense. So I do wish you the best in that. Bye-bye.